We'll go ahead, Kevin Henry. Kevin, go ahead, start us off.
Hey Dom, good morning. Thanks for the time, man.
Huh,
Appreciate it.
no problem.
What what's the attitude on your side heading into spring training this year? We know last year being at the alternate site, and what how did that focus your mindset heading into this year?
Yeah, definitely. You have to have a clear mind, and it's a new year, new opportunity for me and for this entire team. I think everybody's excited. I'm really excited, and um, it's just got to have belief in each other, and that's kind of what we're counting on is each other, and to begin this new season.
Follow up for you. Can you tell me some of the best lessons, qualities, whatever that you learned from Tony while you all worked together?
Yeah, I mean, me and him are very similar in a lot of ways. A lot of infield background coming up, and both feel like we're pretty good athletes. And that was a huge thing for me was to learn how to use my athleticism behind the plate the best I could. And I feel like I've done that throughout the years and learned how to use it to my advantage. And that's what I try and take advantage of the most.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thomas Harding, go ahead.
Good morning, Dom. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I wanted to follow up on Kevin's question. The plays that Tony makes out in the field and the throws behind the plate. What are your favorite plays from him, and which ones do you feel that you can emulate?
Yeah, I mean, his pick plays that he makes, some of the blocks he makes, and I mean, he's usually pretty accurate with his arm. My favorite play of watching him was when he had, I think, both feet were stuck in the ground, threw a guy out at second, didn't really even realize the guy was running, and he just pretty much just his instincts took over, threw the guy out at second. And it's kind of like Nolan, you just kind of get used to these things happening, but a lot of guys can't make those plays in this league. And I feel like for me, I think the pick plays, the blocking and stuff like that, as far as my athleticism, I think I can definitely at least be close to that, what Tony did. But I believe in myself and my abilities for sure behind the plate, receiving, blocking, picks, and throwing for sure was one of my main focuses the last couple of years.
You've been around these guys, I think, 4 years in big league camp. What are the meetings like right now where you don't have, say, the really old veteran catcher? You do have Elias, who's been around a while. I mean, you find yourself speaking more and thinking more and doing different things that maybe you didn't have to do as much in the past.
Yeah, no, it's definitely time for me and Diaz to step up and take ownership of this staff and all the catchers. Honestly, there's a lot of guys that have been in camp for a few years now, and yeah, you don't have that veteran presence, but it's time to turn the page and take the reins on ourselves.
How much have the pitchers helped? I mean, obviously the pitchers have done pretty well, especially the starters in this league. Do you find that you've got guys that you can kind of follow there, or do they look to you and say, "Hey, you're the catcher, be a leader"? How does that relationship work?
Yeah, you definitely have to be a leader behind the plate for sure. But we're a team, and that's the battery, and you work amongst each other to execute a pitch and hopefully call a winning ball game.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, no problem.
Patrick Saunders, go ahead.
Hey, Tom. When we spoke a couple days ago, one of the things I neglected to ask you, last summer at the alternate site, we talked a little bit about that, but can you give us some specifics of some of the things you worked at? Because you didn't have a full season, be it minors or majors. What are some of the specific things you worked at during that camp?
To definitely try and improve every aspect of my game. I think the main focus was probably my throwing and my footwork and stuff like that to make it more consistent. That was for sure the number one thing on the checklist to check off.
Who did you work with primarily? Was it Red, or was there somebody else who you were working with?
Yeah, Red majority of the time, and then honestly just watching a little bit of film on Tony and Butero, who's a really good thrower as well. Just kind of talking to those guys and seeing what fits for me, because everybody's different and everybody has a different way about going going about their business. So I think I found something that is going to work for me, and it definitely did at the alternate site. We threw the bases regularly there.
And offensively, we know that you've got some power. You're a left-handed bat, which will play well at Coors. In terms of overall consistency of average on base, et cetera,
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to improve there?
Yeah, just not so much, fly ball missing. Just missing in the air too much. You can fall in love with it at Coors, but keeping that line drive approach, and if you miss it a little bit in the air, then hopefully it's a home run or an extra base hit off the wall. But just kind of trying to stay within myself and hit a lot of line drives. That's my focus.
Well, thank you, sir.
No problem.
I'll go to Pat Graham for the last question here. Pat?
Hey, Dom, thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
I guess, what are some of the ways that you can build, chemistry with pitchers just outside of throwing and catching? How do you foster that relationship?
Honestly, just go up and talk to guys. They want to feel comfortable and confident that them outside of the field, and you care about them, and you care about their families, their friends, and just creating conversations, creating small competitions with them, or just talking some smack with guys. And you kind of have to treat everybody a little bit differently, learning guys' personalities and what makes them click, stuff like that. That's what honestly this game and this position is all about.
Follow up to that question would be, at this level, do we overrate chemistry, or is it chemistry important between a pitcher and catcher?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. You have to be on the same page for sure, because without a pitcher, you can't start a game, and I feel like without us, you can't really. You can't call a game, you can't get guys out. So the better the chemistry, the better off usually your staff is. You see a lot of guys have stuck around this league just catching one or two guys for certain teams, and they stick because they have good chemistry with certain pitchers and some of the best pitchers in the game.
Last one, I promise, and that's, how long does it take? Can it just be a couple weeks? Is it how long, like Montgomery coming over? How long would it take to get up to speed with him?
It just depends how much effort you put in, honestly. I talked to him this morning a little bit already, and does he want you to catch his bullpens? Does he want you to learn more about him? And do you want to go learn more about him? And that's what this game's all about. If you put in the effort, it's just like going out into the cage and putting in that extra effort or whatever it is. It's the same way, going in there, creating conversations, and just showing that you care. Honestly, that's what everybody wants. If you care, then they're going to put in the effort as well.
All right, that'll do it. Actually, one more late coming in. Thomas Harding, finish us up, please.
I just wanted to circle back on that. I remember when Tony came over from the Indians, it was a bit of a crash course. I think he used flashcards with his girlfriend at the time. How do you do that when you get a new pitcher, guys you haven't seen? Now, you've been fortunate to be with these guys for a while, but guys you haven't seen, how do you study up on them in that respect?
Yeah, it's the same idea. Watch some video on guys on your own, maybe bring them into the video room and have them explain some sequences that they go through. Just picking their brain as much as you can, and then you just got to trust it once you get out on the field. That's a huge thing as well. You make a game plan, you better trust it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dom. Really appreciate the time, sir.